Hi everyone, welcome back. Going a little bit crazy, talking about a bit crazy. Don't want to go too stupid on it, but my goodness, I've seen some pretty crazy questions over the years, especially when they get up to year 10 and 11. And people just go absolutely berserk with lots of letters and on it goes. Let's have a look at it. I'm going to try to keep it simple. That's a multiply. If you want to go back and watch the two previous videos, I'll have them, video 01 and video 02 on expanding the brackets. You'll find the others over there. So all we're going to do is multiply the front. Now I'm going to put the eyebrows in. One of the methods to use to keep track of what you've done. This is just an everyday 5 times an everyday 2. So multiplication, you can just do normal. And then an x multiplied by an x is an x squared. So don't forget the trap. An x times an x is just an x squared. Nothing more complicated. Just look at that. There's a 10. There's the x squared. Now here's where people go wrong. 5 times a 3 is 15. And they'll put 15, they'll go, there's no negatives anywhere, so my answer is an addition, not a subtraction or a negative. And they forget to write that x there. So it's a 5x multiplied by 3. If you wanted to write out in full, lots of teachers will teach you about write out in full. Listen to them, listen to their advice, and act on what they're saying to you. So it's a 5 times an x times a 3. So over here I could write 5 times x times 3. And I've got 5 3s are 15 with an x. And you don't have to write the multiplications there. Number 2, a bit further crazy. This time you might look at it, I've got letters at the back, I've got more letters, and I've got negatives in both places, and they go, oh my goodness. But watch how easy it is. Ignore the minus for a moment, the negative out the front. 3 2s are just 6, and they've got a letter M, just like we did over here. 3 2s are 6, and we've got the letter M. And then we go, there's only one negative in that multiplication. Remember, we're doing multiplication. That's a minus 6m. Next one. I am going to go this time first. A lot of people will go, the two minuses make a plus. Let's say you don't want to do that. You can go 3 times 3 is just 9. Normal everyday 3 times a normal everyday 3. There's an m times another m. So m times m we write as m squared. And we've got an n as well. And then the two minuses make a plus. The question's done. Now, talk about collecting like terms. They are different. This has got an m, that's got an m squared. That's also got an n. So we can't collect them together. I could talk about that at length, but not here, on other videos. I just want to keep the videos, as most of you know, as short as I possibly can. So we're doing another multiplication. I'm going to go, I'll put the eyebrows back in. I forgot to write the eyebrows on those two. I could have written that we're doing that times that and that times that, if it helps your brain to operate on it. So have a look what's here. 5 times 2 is just a normal everyday 10, and what's the big trap? An x squared times an x is an x cubed. A lot of students have trouble with x squared times x. It just means x times another x times another x. Altogether we've got 3 x's. And we don't write that as 3x, we write it x with a little 3 on top. So it's an index of 3. If you're watching in America, some other places, I'll talk about an exponent of 3. Now, looking back to the question again, it's got a minus there, so we need a minus there. Next part, another eyebrow. I write it in red. We go across from there to there. It's just a normal everyday 5 times another normal everyday 5, so that's 25. It's an x squared, and there's no more x squareds or cubes or anything there. It's just left as x squared. So what's a trap? You've got to remember to write that x squared there. Now it's a minus times a positive. So a minus times a positive is not 2 minuses make a plus. So it is a one lonesome minus, so it says a minus. That used to drive me crazy at school. I keep saying it. You hear me saying on videos. This time again, now we're getting a little bit crazy. Nowhere near what we could do. But let's have a look at it. That one times that one. Oh, I've got a 3. So I need a 3. I've got a c multiplied by another c. So c multiplied by another c is c squared. Can you imagine how complicated we can go on that? I could put a squared here and a squared there and all sorts of stuff. A d multiplied by another d squared. And don't forget, it's still got that minus, that lonesome subtraction out the front stays as a minus. Next part, eyebrows. Talk about them as eyebrows. Here we go. Now I've got a 4. Really, this, by the way, is a 1. So if you're not understanding, it's actually a 1 times a 4, which is a 4. This is a 1 written at the front of everything when we've got algebra. So if I just multiply the c by the c, I've got a c squared, back to c times c is c squared. So let's have a look what we've done. We've got the 4, because it's a 1 times 4 is a 4. We've got the c times the c is a c squared, but don't forget this is d here. Lots of people forget to put that d in. And then you're back to the question of 2 minuses make a plus. And the question's done, and that can go more and more and more and more crazy. Just in case, I'm going to add one little simple one without going too crazy. If I had 3 and I had an m plus an n plus a 4, this time when we're multiplying, you've got 3 lots of eyebrows. You're going to multiply that pair, you're going to multiply that pair, you're going to multiply that pair. So really quick, let's just add it in. 3 times m is 3m, plus 3 times n is 3m. There's no negatives anywhere. And then the next one, plus 3 times 4 is 12.